Hello, leadership at UTC. I hope happy Friday, and I'm sorry to come to you towards the end of the day, and I'll try to make this quick. But this is just to the leadership, and for of a specific reason. I want to get you thinking about something. The I'm looking at my notes here for a second. Yeah, Tiffany, Cornell, Brett, Rusty. There's been a little lull. Why is there a lull? Why was there a lull? How come you didn't see Bova in a little while? Couple of reasons. One is I wanted to work with all the teams before we got back, and then we missed a month in the meeting. So between all of that, it kind of done that. But I want to make sure there was a lot of information that happened from those those division meetings I want to talk about, and I want to introduce a new thing with you today, and I'll get to it. The communication we did in person has had impact, and I'm comparing it to the forums. I think the forums prepped for the little time we do have to make sure that there's as much impact as there can be for when we do have in person. There are two major points I want to talk about today, and a golden nugget to support the major points. All right. The 2 points is number one. In all three divisions that I worked with, all three teams, everyone was more in a collaborative state, in a state where they were more open, free, liberated, and collaborative after I did the story improv thing, and people laughed, and their minds were like, "This is crazy," and like that, and it wasn't so, what are you going to do? What's the deadline? How are you going to do it? Wasn't like that. Think about that. Real important. And the second point I want to talk about is I want to go more into what I'm calling public communication transparency. Tiffany's team was the only one I was able to do that with, and that is towards the end, I was asking everyone, and by the way, why? Because they're a smaller team. All right, when you're, so within this small amount of time, the small team, I could get in there a bit and say, what is it you want to address in the what do you have to address on a communication level? What task? What issue? In the next few weeks. They didn't tackle any of it at that time, but they were like, I'm going to address the spectrum, whatever, in the next week. I'm like, good. And what's good about that is that now it's up and it's out, and people are hearing it, and now there's some kind of accountability and a reason to reach out. And that's a big deal. I don't know if I'm going to get you as a team first. I hope I do, but I don't know if there's going to be time. I'm going to connect with Rusty about it. Rusty will connect before our next company meeting or after. I don't know. But regardless, what we're going to do, because in this limited time, we're going to start off a personal inventory, and I'm starting to smile. Because when I do personal inventory, right, until you really get used to it and all, some people are like, what are you asking me how I feel? What do you mean how I feel? I'm at work. I'm working. I got to get things done, right? No one's like that, but that's kind of there, right? And then after I did the improv story, the illogical improv storyline thing, and then I asked them how they felt. They were like, well, I feel okay. Well, I feel good. I feel like, still don't like the feelings, but got to tell you, you see, same question based on when I asked it, I got completely different answers. Which brings me to the golden nugget of the week. Wait a minute, I jumped. Did I loosen up? Yeah, we're going to do this. Oh, no, I didn't. I jumped. After we loosen up, I'm going to ask everyone to commit to one thing that is with their normal responsibilities that has been clogging up the pipes, or something that's outside of their normal responsibilities that they have to address on a communication level within the next week or two. What is that? They're not going to address it, but they're going to say they're going to address it so everyone's listening. Leaders, please take notes on your team or anyone that needs to that says they're going to intersect with your team. So you have that, okay? Um, that now the golden nugget of the week, it'll be next week as well. I want to talk about the weather forecast. When you have when you plan the company picnic, outdoor wedding, the reunion, you're going rowboating, whatever that is that's outdoors, going to the ball game, and it's far in advance. You got the tickets, or you plan the catering, planning all the events. What are you doing? You're hoping it's a great day. You're hoping, and if you pray, you're praying it's a great day. Oh God, please God, make it a great day. Right? That's what you're doing. In communication, there's a communication forecast where we do actually have control. Where in the first one you have no control. You don't know what. Well, don't. It's not about global warming or any of that. You don't. We don't know exactly what it's going to be like on New Year's Eve coming this year. We don't know. Is it going to be a cold one, a wet one, depending on where you live, a snowy one? We don't know. But in the communication forecast, we have much more, and I don't say control in a controlling way, but there's a lot more we can do to create a really good environment. So, in my notes, let me get them here. Yes, back to the personal inventory. Before, people are more pensive. I asked the same question after the storyline, the illogical improv story, and people were more free, open, and receptive. The challenge is you as the leader. You're the leader. What can you do to make your team have an optimum communication um, forecast, climate? Keep calling it a forecast. The climate. How could you make sure the climate is at a place where your company, your team is above and beyond the normalcy of how you go about your work? What is it you could do? You can do and then you could do the storyline improv. But what is it for you? And I'm slowing up in my talking now because it's these techniques, these learnings of what that is for you to get your team in this optimum state. That is part of how you cultivate your leadership style, your leadership skills. What is that for you? And keep in mind, it's a hit or miss, man. In the beginning, and the main thing about this I'm going to ask is, my company name is called Edgework, right? I want you to get a little edgy. Get a little edgy, meaning take a risk, take a little chance. Go outside your comfort zone. If you bomb, you bomb. Fine. It's really okay. It's your this is part of the growth. It's not just about doing it right and delivering it right and being polished right, and it's not about that. This is a leadership skill I'm trying to bring in on what can you do to get your company in a state, your team in a state where there's much higher level of productivity that could happen. A lot of people come to communications thinking, well, how do I deliver? Tell me what to say and how to say it. It's really how do you create an environment for people to be productive? How do you create an environment for people to want to communicate? and talk about things that maybe weren't addressed. This is what I ask you to think about, okay, and as leadership. And I hope that was a helpful golden nugget. And I think it is. I'm always, you know, it always touches me, and I'm always thinking of different ways on how to create that climate for your company or your team. All right. Will I see you again before the next meeting? I don't know. But I'm gonna send out a video repeating a lot of this to everyone, the whole company. But first, I wanted to get it to you. Do me a favor. Send me an email, quick email. Anthony, got it. Throw your comments in there. Or did something not make sense? Let me know. You can call me, or simply we could do it back and forth on email, but I want to make sure you got it. So when I know it's in the noggin, I know that it's starting to cook, and something will come up. If you have no clue on how to create that, um, the communication climate to where it's very like what I've talked about, let me know. Let me know. This is not normal wiring. I'm asking you to go outside the box here. All right, everyone, have a great weekend, and it's a pleasure, man. And we'll connect next week. Take care.